Hold on, Mama. Hey guys. So I'm here with my little munchkins. Hi. Yes. So hopefully this goes well. I'm gonna hold on, girls. Hold on. Girls. Bella, you want to go night-night? Celeste, stop it. Look. All right, guys, I can't invite you because my kids are going crazy. Say hi. Can we not fight, Bella? Stop it. I'm going to try to do this real quick. Bella. You guys are going to cut it out. This is supposed to be a positive video. Okay, you can have that, but you have to be a good girl. Remember what I said?
I want it.
Yes, Lori. So, Elena's coming back on.
Unlock the darkest stories and unravel the mysteries with Dark Crime Box. Subscribe now and step inside the world of true crime like never before.
Sorry about the frizzy hair. It's been a eventful couple of days of steam showers, so lots of humidity. So, Lori, if you can invite some people that were supposed to... Hold on, Mama. You can have it in just a second. Girls, we may have to redo this in a couple minutes. You want to go down? You want down? So, I'm just going to go ahead and do the drawing real quick, because it's going to be crazy. Hold on. I know you guys all want this little bus bucket. Crazy. It's like I'm shaking candy here, you guys. You would think I was giving candy out. Bella, sit back. I'll let you do it. I promise I'll let you do it, okay? So I'm trying to keep it away from the kids, so hold on, I'm going to show you guys. So all the names are in the bucket. I wish everyone good luck and Merry Christmas, and I'm grateful to be able to pay it forward to my team and to all of you guys as well. So I'm going to, wait, I got to shake it. Let me shake it. Sorry, so you see my hair in your face. All right, pick one name. Wait. Save. Pick one name. Oh, wait, I'll let you guys pick. Let's see. Who is it?
Before we begin, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Your support helps us continue bringing you deeply researched true crime stories that matter. August 16th, 2018. In the quiet plains outside Frederick, Colorado, a shallow grave was discovered near an oil site. Inside it lay a 34-year-old pregnant woman. 2 days later, her daughters, just 4 and 3 years old, were pulled from separate crude oil tanks nearby. And suddenly, the world knew the name Watts. But here on Dark Crime Box, we don't just repeat headlines. We revisit what happened. We correct the narrative. We shine a light on what new evidence and updated records reveal, even years later. Because this isn't simply a story. This is a tragedy that altered families forever. A timeline of warnings ignored, choices made in silence, and a man who decided that erasing his life was better than facing it. So take a moment, like and subscribe, because what you're about to hear is the most complete, deeply examined retelling of the Watts case to date. Let's go back to where it started. From the outside, Shannan and Chris, what looked like the kind of couple you'd find on a real estate flyer. Young, energetic, smiling for pictures with their 2 daughters, Bella and Celeste. Shannan and Chris met in 2010, married 2 years later, and built a life in Frederick, Colorado. Their home on Saratoga Trail was spacious, clean, and exactly what suburban dreams looked like. Shannan was bold, outgoing, and deeply driven. Despite living with lupus, she was a fighter, building a career with the health company Thrive under the brand Louvel. Her social media was always full of updates. The girls, her marriage, motivational quotes, and glowing praise for Chris. Chris couldn't have been more different, quiet, introverted, reserved. He worked long shifts at Anadarko Petroleum. Barely posted online, kept to himself. But he was steady, dependable, and easy to overlook. Their daughters, Bella, soft-spoken and thoughtful, and Cece, fearless and full of energy, were the heart of the family. And in 2018, Shannan announced she was pregnant again. A baby boy. They had already chosen a name, Nico. To the world, they were perfect. But perfection is a costume. And behind that costume, something is hidden. In 2015, they filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Nearly $500,000 in debt. 2 kids. A mortgage. Medical bills. And a marriage that had started to strain under the pressure. Shannan tried to keep the peace with everyone, even Chris's parents, despite deep tension, especially between her and Chris's mother, Cindy Watts. After a confrontation over Cece's severe peanut allergy, Shannan no longer allowed Cindy to watch the girls unsupervised. Chris stayed silent, always silent. And silence can create a distance deeper than any argument. Shannan carried the emotional load of the marriage, the planning, the communication, the effort. She posted the smiling photos. She filmed the happy videos. She fought for the bond that seemed to be slipping through her hands. But Chris, he had already started drifting. In 2017, Chris started working out more, eating differently, dressing differently. At first, Shannan thought it was self-improvement, but something subtle changed. He became even quieter, less affectionate, less present. Shannan felt it. She texted friends messages like, "He hasn't kissed me since I got back. He hasn't touched me all week. I just want him to love me again." Every message was a quiet plea. And while Shannan was away on work trips that summer, Chris became colder. Short replies, no emotion, no effort. She kept trying counseling, date nights, anything to reconnect. But he wasn't listening, because he had already chosen someone else. June 2018. Chris met Nicole Kessinger, an environmental contractor at Anadarko. She later told police she believed he was separated, even divorced. No ring. Few mentions of family. A man pretending to start over. Their relationship escalated fast. Workout sessions. Lunches together. Phone calls late into the night. And searches on Nicole's phone for wedding dresses. Meanwhile, Shannan, pregnant and exhausted, was sending Chris emotional texts trying to understand why her marriage was dying. By August 11th, she was returning home from a trip. She believed a conversation with Chris might fix things. Instead, that conversation would be her last. August 12th, 2018. Shannan flew home from Arizona, arriving at 1:48 a.m. A neighbor's camera caught her walking up the driveway, unaware that danger waited behind the door. Her luggage was set down, her shoes removed, the girls asleep upstairs. What happened after that moment would later be pieced together through confessions, evidence, and Chris's shifting stories. But one thing is certain. By the time Shannan walked through that door, Chris had already made his decision. August 13th. Shannan missed her doctor's appointment. Her friend, Nicole Atkinson, grew worried. Shannan always answered, especially with a high-risk pregnancy. By noon, Nicole was knocking on the Watts' door. The house was silent. Shannan's car was still in the garage, her purse inside, her medication untouched. Chris finally arrived, giving explanations that made no sense. He said Shannan left with the girls early in the morning, but her car hadn't moved. Inside, things were wrong. Her phone found stuffed between couch cushions. Her wedding ring left on a nightstand. The bedsheets missing. No children's items packed. No trace that a mother had taken her kids anywhere. Nicole didn't buy any of it. Neither did the responding officer. A missing persons report was filed, and the search for truth had officially begun. August 14th.
I just want them back. I just want them to come back. And if they're not safe right now, that's what's tearing me apart. Because if they are safe, they're coming back. But if they're not, this has got to stop. Like, somebody has to come forward.
Or did you guys get into an argument before she left?
It wasn't like an argument. We had an emotional conversation, but I'll leave it at that. But I want everybody to just come home. Like wherever they're at, come home. That's what I want.
Chris talked about how he and his wife had an emotional conversation right before she went missing, which I thought was strange, that you would talk about that on the news.
Shannan, Bella, Celeste, if you're out there, just come back. Like, if somebody has her, just please bring her back.
The concern that he professed to have for his wife and kids seemed very feigned, seemed very cold and calculated. Even though people grieve differently, he was so extraordinarily calm and was internally inconsistent in what he was saying and how he was saying it, that it raised a lot of red flags. It just really struck everyone as, what in the world is going on?
Chris stood in front of TV cameras, pleading for his family's return, but his face was blank, his voice flat, and behind that calm was a lie cracking under pressure.
What's that?
Nothing on there. You just have my camera. Truck up to the drive. Lay down.
Loaded my stuff up in my coolers, my water jugs, my book bag, my computers, some of the tools that I had from the toolbox. I knew I was going to have to do some pumping into rubbers today. That's why I was out so far.
Is this on continually recording?
Yep. Well,
it's not. Is it motion or is it?
Event.
Okay, so it's motion.
Any motion event that happens, I get cars driving from this street, and this is him at 517.
I usually park out there on the side. I just want to get everything back in. Be easier, so lugging everything out there, all the tools that I had to bring in. What else can I do with this?
My detective just showed up, so he'll probably want to talk to you. He'd probably, like I said, he might have you call at the bank and see if there's any kind of activity.
Because if there is any sort of action out there,
His camera's
I would have got it.
Like
right.
we had issues the other week when people were stealing stuff out of like garages and stuff like that, and I had parked my truck
I had
here.
to park right here.
Yeah. So someone,
see if
I could
anything
see where someone tried to jimmy with a flathead screwdriver over there, and it was just like.
But if any action would have happened, any cars or anything left your house, I would have
If it
got
would
it.
have been like right in that area, it should have picked.
Oh, it'll pick up anything coming down the street this way.
You know where that tree there too?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Watch, I'll show you. There's nothing on here. We've already watched that one. But like, you'll see this car.
What security systems do you have?
X-ray this car. You can see this car starting to drive down the street.
That one.
Oh, what? Okay.
See what I'm saying? It picks up all the way down there.
That's cool.
He's next door.
Let me go.
I was talking about dispatcher. He'll be close for.
Because yeah, we can pick up cars coming this way. I get anything coming this way making a turn. So, and usually at night I pick up the cars pulling a year trim. So, unless they pulled right here, but I would have caught her walking out. Diesel.
You're good.
But yeah, I thought nothing.
Nothing for the rest of the day.
No, that's it.
She's pregnant as well.
How far along?
14, 15 weeks. That's why her friend said it was low blood sugar.
And see, I've got her friend leaving out here at 2 in the morning, I think. So, my camera. Did you go check if anything was missing around your house?
There wasn't nothing. It was like all the old blankies and the and then her wedding rings on the nightstand. Her phone was still there.
Later, a neighbor named Nate showed officers security footage of Chris the morning Shannan vanished. It showed Chris backing his truck into the garage at 5:17 a.m., moving back and forth between the house and the truck, something he had never done before. When Chris watched the footage, he suddenly became anxious, fidgety, defensive, and investigators noticed, because by then, they already had access to his phone. And the deleted messages told a story of their own. Investigators contacted Nico Kessinger. She cooperated immediately. She turned over her phone, revealing deleted messages, searches for Amber Fry, and questions about media attention. And suddenly, the motive investigators suspected became unavoidable. Chris's lies collapsed. He agreed to take a polygraph. He failed. Agents looked him in the eyes and said, "Chris, you're not telling the truth." He asked to speak with his father privately. And in a quiet room under pressure, Chris finally broke. Halfway. He didn't confess to killing everyone. Instead, he claimed he saw Shannan harming the girls, and in a rage, he killed her. A story that would be disproven by every piece of forensic evidence. But it was enough. Chris Watts was arrested on the spot. August 16th. GPS data from his work truck led investigators to a remote oil site 40 miles away. Flat land. No cameras. Nothing to suggest the horror buried beneath the soil. But then they saw it. Freshly disturbed dirt. Under only 2 feet of earth lay Shannan, wrapped in a sheet, still wearing her maternity clothing. The autopsy showed strangulation. No defensive wounds. She never had a chance. Nearby, investigators climbed 2 massive oil tanks. Inside one tank was Celeste. Inside the other was Bella. The openings were only 8 inches wide. They had been pushed through them. Cece smothered quickly. Bella fought back. Evidence inside her mouth showed she tried desperately to resist. Chris later admitted Bella watched her sister die before her. It is one of the most haunting details of the entire case. Over time, confronted with evidence he couldn't escape, Chris finally confessed fully. He killed Shannan in their bedroom after an argument, transported her and the girls in his truck, smothered both daughters at the oil site, placed them in separate tanks, all to pursue a new life with Nico Kessinger. He received 5 life sentences, no possibility of parole. This case is more than one man's evil. It's a reminder of what can hide behind smiles, family photos, and quiet personalities. A story of manipulation, emotional withdrawal, and a decision that wiped out an entire future. If you've watched this far, thank you. Your support means everything to this channel. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. It helps us reach more viewers and continue telling the stories that must never be forgotten. Where are you watching from? Drop your country or city in the comments. We always love hearing from you. Before the tragedy that changed everything, Chris Watts had already become an expert at hiding who he really was. Not through violence, not through dramatic outbursts, but through silence. A silence so controlled, so carefully crafted, that the people closest to him mistook it for calmness, when in reality it was distance. Distance he had been creating long before Shannan ever walked into his life. From the outside, Chris seemed ordinary, quiet, shy, the type of man who blended easily into the background. But behind closed doors, there was a pattern, a secret blueprint of behavior that investigators later described as pre-existing emotional detachment. And that detachment didn't begin in 2018. It began long before. Years earlier, Chris developed a habit that almost no one noticed. He avoided confrontation at all costs. No arguments, no reactions, no visible anger. He would simply shut down, retreat inward, and give no emotion at all. It seemed harmless, but psychologists later said it was one of the earliest red flags. Because people who cannot express negative emotions often push their feelings underground, hiding disappointment, frustration, resentment, until it becomes something darker. Friends from his past recalled that Chris never shared personal struggles. No fears, no real ambitions, just silence. Even during happy moments, his emotions were muted. He didn't celebrate loudly. He didn't express affection openly. He lived in a quiet, private space inside his mind, a space no one else was allowed to enter. And over time, that habit of hiding became automatic. He kept financial stress to himself. He kept growing marital tension to himself. He kept his emotional disconnection to himself. And when he eventually began an affair, he hid that too with precision. Thousands of deleted messages, secret phone calls, a separate life that existed entirely in the gaps where his family believed he was working, resting, or driving. Investigators would later describe this pattern as compartmentalization, a psychological wall, a private chamber where he hid events, desires, and decisions he didn't want anyone to see. It wasn't a single secret. It was a lifetime of little secrets, a lifetime of shrinking further inward until the real Chris barely existed at all. The tragic truth of this story is that Shannan wasn't the first person Chris shut out. She was simply the first person who noticed, the first person who questioned the silence, the first person who pushed him to communicate, and was met with a wall thicker than anyone realized. And behind that wall, something was building quietly, invisibly, until it finally exploded into one of the darkest crimes in modern true crime history. Where are you watching from? Drop your country or city in the comments. We always love hearing from you. This is Dark Crime Box. Stay safe and we'll see you in the next episode.